Korea and the Netherlands has a relationship that dates back all the way to the 17th century when two Dutch sailors came to Jeju Island due to a shipwreck. But it was in the 20th century where stronger ties were made. In 1907, The Hague was where Korea's royal emissary Lee Jun tried to declare the independence of Korea at the Second Hague Peace Conference. Then during the Korean War, the Dutch sent troops as part of the UN force. Next year, South Korea and the Netherlands will mark the 60th anniversary of official ties. And so with all that in mind, we thought we'd take a look back on the past years and envision future relations with Her Excellency Joanne Doornewaard, the Dutch ambassador to the Republic of Korea, who has joined us now in the studio. It's great to have you on the show, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I understand you became the ambassador to Korea late last year. I'm sure you must have had some sort of expectations when you came to Korea, but the coronavirus situation must have changed a lot of things. How's it been so far?
Interesting times, I must say. I arrived indeed last year, presented my credentials in November last year. Really trying to meet a lot of people. That's what you do when you start as an ambassador. Really looking forward working here because, I mean, South Korea is a very important partner for the Netherlands. We are very strong trade partners. And then indeed, coronavirus starting also, yeah, I mean, as an ambassador, you want to meet people and suddenly all these things are not possible anymore. But also very interesting to see how Korea is dealing with it and what kind of solutions they come up with and to share that knowledge with the Netherlands. Because, I mean, our crisis arrived a few months later. Convincing The Hague from look at us, look what we're doing here, or look what South Korea is doing. So very interesting time to see how you tackle that and share that information with the Netherlands and how we can use that also to tackle coronavirus.
So that must have been very important then over the last few months, being that bridge between the Netherlands and Korea, perhaps showing what Korea is doing to the Netherlands.
Yeah, and showing that also the test materials and all that. And right now we indeed import test materials from Korea, just to show. I mean, it's not only China that offers these kind of products; it's also Korea. And sometimes very good quality. So so it's sharing that information and try to see what kind of barriers there are that we have to overcome and to learn. Yeah.
And I understand you've also been expressing your thanks to what's going on here in Korea as well, because in April the Dutch embassy donated, I believe, 1,000 bouquets of tulips to these whole medical centre staff fighting against the virus. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, I mean, the Netherlands, we have a very strong tradition with flowers, especially tulips. Sometimes you buy flowers. We buy flowers ourselves to cheer ourselves up or to cheer your friends up. We express our emotions with flowers and also to say thank you, we say with flowers. And knowing that, I mean, COVID-19, it's really very difficult for the flower sector. They could not sell the flowers anymore. So we thought, okay, we buy the flowers and we express our thanks to the medical staff here in Seoul. So it was a win-win, I think. And we really felt honored to do that and to show them our appreciation because that they were especially in that hospital, working very hard to deal with the patients.
I'm sure the staff were very touched by your generosity there. Let's talk more about the relationship then between the two countries. I briefly talked about the historical points in the introduction. I mean, how would you describe the relationship? You said it was a very important partner, especially in trade.
Yes, so we are, for us, Korea is really like one of amongst the highest or the biggest trading partner here in Asia. After China, it's Korea. So we are strong trading partners, but we also, it's like a like-minded partner in the international negotiations and all that. So it's a really important partner for us. And that's something that we build upon. Also, I mean, the brief time that I've been here, my minister came to visit here to exchange ideas together with Minister Kang here. So it really an important partner for us in this part of the world.
In trade, you said it's a strong relationship.
Yes.
What industries are key?
Well, the horticultural sector, the food, agro-food, high-tech in the semiconductor industries, water, smart cities, but also renewable energy, hydrogen. I mean, you have a lot of knowledge and we are working on that as well, so we cooperate. in the automotive sector, the renovation or the innovations that going on there. So we work in these innovative sectors together, R&D, so research and development. I mean, there's much that we can work upon. We already do, and we hope to extend it in the future.
Right, all those things you talked about in the second half there, they're all future technologies, it seems, especially with green. That means there's a lot of collaboration that's still to come between the two countries.
Yes,
still.
Yeah. So we see that as a field where our cooperation can grow. And especially right now, post-COVID has shown the knowledge and the technical possibilities that Korea offers, especially in the life sciences and the health sector. So I see that also as a very promising sector to cooperate in the future.
On the green initiatives, earlier in June, your embassy, along with the Global Green Growth Institute, hosted the Climate Talk and Net Zero 2050 event. Can you tell us more about this?
That was an event because at the moment we see how, especially in this part of the world, there are recovery packages but being presented, and also right now in the Netherlands. And we would like to see how this recovery packages that have trillions of won, how you can invest that in sustainable business. When you build back, you try to build back better, and how to do that. So it was an event to exchange ideas. So the EU presented their Green Deal. We presented our Dutch climate agreement. So we shared ideas, and also hopefully to show Korea what could be done to set ambitious goals for the future, for future generations. And right now, when you invest so much money, you should invest it in something that's for the future, and not invest in old technologies, but in clean technologies.
I find it interesting as well that geographically, I feel Netherlands and Korea is very different. For example, Korea is a very hilly and mountainous country, whereas the Netherlands is a notoriously very flat country. Is there a lot of things that can be shared in the green sector there, especially considering how it's so different?
Yes, so we share, I think you share a concern about air pollution. We have, our concern is indeed air pollution as well, but also the raising sea level. We are a flat country, so we're very vulnerable to raising. But climate change also induces very intense rain. You have problems also with that. So there's a lot we can share. And we learned that we cannot solve it just by ourselves. It's very important to have international alliances to tackle this problem together. So you could clean your air. Right now you can see post-COVID, or after this COVID, that already you have blue skies.
Sure, yeah.
So it's possible. So how to try to sustain that also for future generations. When you pick up your industry again, how to keep that. And that's something that we also right now we are dealing with. We see a lot of more in Europe, people using their bikes, electric transport right now. So we have a climate agreement that in 2030, our new cars will be all electric. We will build 1.5 million charging stations in the Netherlands.
Sure.
We're not that big a country, but we use that much. And that's a huge amount of 1.8 million charging points in 2030. So that's a lot of jobs as well in innovation, in technology. And we can see that. You have so much also here. It's such a smart technologies is almost invented here. So there's so much we could do together. Sure. To tackle that problem. In
Korea, I understand the Korean government is looking to introduce more bike lanes. I think that's something they announced very recently. I think there is a lot that South Korea can learn from the Netherlands as well, isn't there?
I think we can share knowledge in that how we tackle that. Also to learn at schools how to because I must say I ride my bike here, and it's sometimes quite a challenge because the traffic is not used to bikes. You can have bike lanes.
You're very brave at cycling here in Korea.
No, but I love cycling. All the Dutch love that, and I think it would be part of the solution. In the Netherlands, we have a rule like within 3 kilometers you try to use the bike. You don't use a park. Like my ministry, you cannot park a car. You can park your bike, but not a car.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we really give incentives that you use your bike and make it safe. That's the thing. And educate your children. They love it. Children love to be on a bike, but it should be safe. So that's the lessons that we could share here.
We talked about trade and green initiatives that we can share together. Is there anything cultural that Korea and the Netherlands has been sharing over the past few years? For example, I understand K-pop is popular everywhere in Europe as well. Have you been able to enjoy some of the cultural treasures that we have here in Korea?
Yes, I traveled. I visited some parks well, that's more natural treasures. Seoksan, beautiful for hiking. Bukhansan, I visited the palaces and all that. But also modern art and culture, architecture. So we have quite some Dutch architects who are working here. It's nice to see how Korea is open for these kind of new, innovative ideas, high standards, and willing to pay for that. So, and we learned from Korea. So we have Korean students in the Netherlands. We have more than 2,000 students in the Netherlands, Korean students who come every year. So there's an exchange, and Dutch students studying here. So that's also for the future very important for our relationship.
Sure. As I mentioned in the beginning, next year marks the 60th anniversary of diplomatic ties between the two countries. Where do you think the future for the two countries lies, and what do you hope to do in the rest of your time while you're here in Korea?
Well, I must say on this, the next 3 years probably, I hope that I can stay here to work on that, is indeed on these climate change issues, but also on human rights, women's rights, being a female ambassador. There are not that many there to show here also to the women you can combine a career and being a mother, being a wife, equal rights. So there are many fields we can work on, but also indeed trade-wise. So this renewable energy, exchange of knowledge in hydrogen, smart cities. I think I see a lot of possibilities to work together, but also in the cultural field, the exchange of artists, architects. I think there's a lot that combines where we can. And indeed, what I said, cybersecurity, more the issues of alliances that we can do there internationally.
Yes, I'm sure there's much more that the two nations can look for to continue to offer each other in the future, and hopefully that relationship will flourish. We've been speaking to Her Excellency Joanne Doornewaard, the Dutch ambassador to the Republic of Korea. Thank you for coming today and sharing us your thoughts.
감사합니다. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.